エクスカリバー。
Now, in the world of anime, magic is not just a plot device, but a spectacle that leaves us breathless. From magic blasts that light up the sky to ancient spells warping reality itself. Anime has blessed us with some of the most overpowered and epic moments in history. And get ready because we're going to be talking about some of those most jaw-dropping magic moments in the history of anime. But before we move on, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And with that said, let's dive in. And starting with this list, we've got Hajime from Arifureta. The underdog who turned into an overpowered main character after getting betrayed and left to die in a dungeon. Sounds rough, right? Hajime is basically the anime version of the Punisher. You see, Hajime's resolve and determination to return to Japan drove him to devour monsters throughout the dungeon where he was left to die. Each monster meal makes him stronger, boosting his mana to ridiculous levels. And although he didn't want to do anything with his classmates who betrayed him, especially Hayama, but despite this grudge, Hajime decides to help the hero party that Hayama has been bullying. When he sees Kaori dead, he doesn't utter a single word, but rather goes on a rampage. Bro single-handedly took care of a bunch of knights thanks to his immense mana. Imagine the quiet kid in class suddenly turning into a one-man army. That right there is Hajime. I absolutely love whenever a baddie thinks they got Hajime, he pulls an Uno reverse card and outsmarts them every single time. Remember kids, the calmer the rage, the more dangerous the storm. Next up we have Anos Voldigod, a demon lord, who is the pure definition of an overpowered character. His magic is so immense that it's basically off the charts. This guy can obliterate anything. Physical objects, magical barriers, you name it, with just a single thought. On the flip side, he can create complex structures and powerful spells from nothing. He once built an entire castle in seconds. Sorry, I really have to emphasize that. Anos isn't just powerful, he's got confidence that borders on arrogance. And why not? He has the power to back it up. One of Anos' most powerful magic moves is related to his sword, Venusnor. It can basically destroy anything, including concepts like destiny and fate. It's the ultimate plot armor shredder, and we see that terrifying power in Anos' fight against Melis. And it was an instant win card for Anos. He left Melis absolutely baffled with his extremely powerful spell, saving him from the brain bug that had turned him against Anos. He just probably needed a moment to reboot after that one. And moving on, we have a group of wannabes versus the real deal. I'm talking about the Scavenger versus Accelerator battle that happened in the anime A Certain Scientific Accelerator.
どうすればどうしたら死ね第一位を倒せ
This battle is the perfect example of why Accelerator is considered one of the most powerful characters in the anime. Accelerator, the top-ranked level 5 Esper in Academy City, has the ability to control vectors, which means he can manipulate the direction and magnitude of any force he touches. This power makes him nearly invincible. On the other side, we have Scavenger, a ruthless group of Espers specializing in missions that require a certain level of brutality and precision. Thanks to his immense powers, Accelerator absolutely destroys Scavenger single-handedly. By the time he's done with Scavenger, they're not just defeated, they're emotionally scarred. Every mention of Vector, every sight of a cane, or even a glimpse of white sends them spiraling into PTSD territory. And when the dust settles, Accelerator walks away without a scratch, leaving Scavenger to pick up the pieces of their shattered pride and possibly shattered bones.
バルハラゲート
せいややめて
あなた
pushing onwards to the guy that just doesn't double check his equipment, he triple checks, quadruple checks, and then invents a whole new category of checks just to be sure. That's Seiya for you. Now Seiya's power is not just confined to his magic abilities or raw strength. It's also his thorough planning and preparation. On top of that, his stats are off the charts. His HP? Maxed out. Defense? Completely impenetrable. Agility? Out of this world. I mean, we get to see him using his Valhalla Gate against his final battle with the Demon Lord, Giabrand. Using Valhalla Gate, Seiya traps the Demon Lord in the void that he would never be able to escape. Giabrand, thinking he's got Seiya cornered, learns the hard way that messing with an overpowered hero never ends well. While Valhalla Gate absolutely destroys the person it's used on, its user is also not safe from its side effects. Our dude also suffers a lot from using this technique to the point that he almost died. But yeah, this magic technique is definitely not for the faint of heart. And next up we have Shin, who's not your average magic user. He's an isekai magic user who retains the vague memory of his past life in Japan. You see, the world he got reincarnated into did not have any concept of science. And what Shin did was that he incorporated his knowledge of science into his magic spells, doing what the others of that world could not do. That alone rightly makes him overpowered, right? Anyway, we see Shin's stunning display of magic against a horde of tigers coming his way. Not only that, the tiger demon was accompanying them as well. Shin doesn't waste any time and one-shots the horde along with the tiger demon, leaving his party in utter shock. In the process of killing the tigers, Shin destroyed a good chunk of the forest as well. His reaction? I feel good. Well, of course, who wouldn't after demonstrating the ultimate power move in front of your baffled friends? Seriously. Shin's magic is not to be underestimated because it will make you disappear from the face of Earth without a doubt. Ah, Diablo. From How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Explosion! 俺に慈悲を期待するなよ。
The MMO gamer who himself became the character he played with in the game. Diablo's just trying to figure out how to converse like a normal person, or aka a demon lord, in the game world he's summoned in. His facial expressions range from utter confusion to slightly terrified, especially when his two summoned slaves, who are actually strong-willed heroines in their own right, demand he act the part of a fearsome overlord. In an epic showcase of magical powers, Diablo absolutely destroys one of the Fallen, giving him the taste of his own medicine. Every spell the Fallen launches is effortlessly countered, reflecting back with a "know you" energy that leaves the Fallen tasting his own medicine and wondering what the hell just hit him. That's a nice mirror shield right there. The short-lived battle showed us how dominant Diablo's magic powers actually are, and Diablo can turn any battle into a spectacular display of over-the-top magic, and this battle is going to be remembered forever by the fans of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. And skimming his way into the list, we're going to be talking about a completely different demon package, another Diablo.
緩やかに滅びゆく世界の中で何もできぬ絶望を知れ発動ディスペアタイム
The epitome of elegance, loyalty, and terrifying powers. If there's any character who could make being evil look classy, it's him. I'm not arguing anymore. Diablo could probably overthrow kingdoms without even breaking a sweat. Now let's talk about his magic, and oh boy, where do we even start? He's the powerhouse of magical as well as physical abilities. Now let's talk about his magic, and oh boy, where do we start for this one? We get to see his terrifying display of magical abilities when he confronts the clerics of the Seven Luminaries. You see, ganging up on someone like Diablo doesn't really work. It always and repeatedly, always ends badly. The clerics, with all their pomp and ceremony, probably thought they had a chance. Spoiler alert, they didn't. With the insane amount of powers he possesses, he disables their powers with a flick of his wrist, and before they knew it, they're plunging into the depths of the void. So guys, make sure not to get on Diablo's bad side, ever. And look alive, guys, we have Homura Akemi in the house. Homura is not an ordinary magical girl. She's a walking and talking time-traveling enigma. At first, we could not see anything special about this woman, but there was much more to her than meets the eye. She has already been through the magical girl ringer, and that turned her into a cold-blooded warrior. In Madoka Magica Rebellion history, Homura is filled with so much despair that she fills the entire universe up with it. And after watching that scene, I was convinced that it's truly Homura's world and we're simply just living in it. It was so insane that I wish I could erase my memories and re-experience this epic display of magical powers. And I just love how Homura girl-bossed, gaslit, and gatekept so hard she convinced not only herself, but the entire audience that she became a devil, when in reality she created a better world for everyone except herself. Devils don't become martyrs. It's not every day when you rewrite the universe and defy the laws of nature, but for Homura, it is. Now let's talk about Sinbad, the larger-than-life character who is the pure definition of charisma and power. He's nowhere near ordinary. He's a legend in his own right. He has immense magical powers and possesses a number of Jinn that provide him with distinct abilities. We see Sinbad equipping the Focalar Jinn and going through a stunning transformation. He gains ethereal wings, as well as his outfits transformed into a more regal and armored form. Now this form grants Sinbad with wind-based abilities that allow him to take on anyone who's able to fly. Not only that, he can swiftly move around and attack his opponents using his wings. Can you imagine that? This guy is so strong that he was banned from entering dungeons just so he could not obtain more Jinns. If he didn't get banned, you best bet he would be invincible. Sinbad is like the overpowered god that's not supposed to interfere with the course of history, except he's not a god and doesn't have to follow any rules, so he makes history go his way anyway. And the top spot of this list is reserved for none other than the two extremely powerful magic users, Enkidu and Gilgamesh. Both these characters are on par with each other when it comes to physical and magical strength. After all these years, it was purely satisfying to watch Gilgamesh finally meet his unequivocal and undeniable match. As the two forces clashed, the sky cleared. The world turned white, nothing except the sound of two breaths echoed, and suddenly nothing remained except a huge crater the size of a country. It's literally all smoke on sight between these two. Their magical powers cannot be comprehended and are so stunning that we would want to watch it again and again. The animation, out of this world. Salute to A1 Pictures for creating this masterpiece. I still can't get over the feelings of bromance between the two. After all, both of them are long-lost childhood friends. They greeting each other after years is definitely the stuff of legends. And with that, we'll be wrapping up this list of the top 10 most overpowered magical moments in the history of anime. We're sure that we have missed maybe a couple of your favorite moments for sure, or at least your ranking would be a little bit different than ours. But nonetheless, they still deserve to be on this list. So let us know in the comments down below what you think deserves to be on this list, or what your rankings would be. And also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We work very hard to keep producing content for you, so we would appreciate it if you supported us, so we can keep providing more content just for you. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.